So how do we get this fabulous heel in the tube that we just knit? That's what I'm going to show you next. So when you're knitting, you can see your stitches are V's. You can tell this especially on the rib because you don't have this mass confusion of all the stitches together. But you can see it's two V's, two rows of V's lined up together. Now when the stitches are all amassed together, it's a little more difficult to decide which is your stitch. But if you look at the waste yarn that you put in, you can see the V's. And each V is a stitch. So we're going to start way over on the side of the first V, and we're going to pick up the right hand side of that stitch underneath it. The same to the next one. You can see the right hand side. To see a little closer, you can see your stitch, the white V, underneath the red V. Just pick up only the right hand arm. The same in that one. And on all the way across to pick up all your stitches. So next you'll turn it around so that your cuff is on top, and you will pick up the stitches, the right arm again, on the other side of the waste yarn. On this side, you'll ignore the half stitch and just start picking up again under the V. It helps a little bit to pull your stitches apart so that you can really see. And on the bottom we do pick up under that half stitch, because the reason we do, I'll show you, is you want one stitch picked up for every stitch above it. The stitch you pick up below should be right above. So there was one there, and if we hadn't picked up that, you can see that you would have been one stitch short. We want one stitch for every stitch above it. Now, what we're going to do is just take the tip of one of the needles and start pulling out the waste yarn. We don't need it anymore. This is the reason it's handy to use a yarn that's a little bit smaller than the yarn you're knitting with, a little bit not quite as thick, and a yarn that's smooth, so it's easy to pull out. In this case, I'm using a cotton. So it pulls out pretty easy. What you can also do is cut it so that you don't have to pull as much through. So all the waste yarn is out, and you have a nice opening there to put in our heel.